Welcome back to Coffee and Candor. This is Ross.
Brandy.
I guess we're going that way.
Chris.
Amber.
Okay, we gotta practice, y'all.
We always go this way.
I thought we were going this way.
No, we always.
We always go this way.
Brandy.
Well, short. Okay.
We got. Woo.
I fucked that one up.
We used to be so smooth.
Yeah, but it
least
took us
at that part.
Yeah, but it
did
took us
take
100
it took
episodes
us
to
a
get that
while.
way.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
You don't understand. We've got over 200 episodes.
Jesus.
I know that's a lot of fucking talking.
I'd say 75% of them we fuck it up in the beginning.
Damn.
So
Or if we don't fuck it up in the beginning, we fuck it up somewhere.
yeah, oh definitely.
That you can count on us.
Are we ready to go?
We
Yeah,
are
take
ready.
it away.
Welcome to Coffee and Candor.
No, we're not doing it again.
No.
No, just start
He's
your thing.
been recording the whole time.
Yeah,
we've
we
been
never
recording
stop.
Well, go
I'm not
back because that sounds stupid.
I don't care. We don't edit this shit, Ross.
Oh
Are you
my
new?
God, are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
We are not
Yeah.
professionals. We
Unless
don't
it's something that I
forget.
think I could legitimately get sued over, I'm not editing a fucking thing. And so I've only had to edit 2 things
Wow. Okay.
in 205 episodes.
I guess here we go.
Yep.
Hit it.
Okay, so what I want to talk about is doppelgangers. I've heard a lot of stories about these. This is kind of an interesting one. And also, Chris has a doppelganger story that I want to hear after we read this one and talk about it. So here we go. I saw my mother walking into the kitchen to get something. I snuck in her room only to find her asleep in her bed. That's the title of the story.
All right.
Says, I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. I know what I saw. I remember exactly everything that happened before and after that happened. I remember it was around 3:30 a.m. and I was leaving my room to grab a soda. I was pulling an all-nighter when I saw my mother go to the kitchen. I hid because I knew I would get in trouble, but I was a bit suspicious of what she was doing. She was walking very, very weird. She looked very still. Only her legs were moving. Her arms, her torso, and even her hair stood still.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe she might have been sleepwalking. I ignored it and snuck into my mom's room since that's where she hides the good snacks. Imagine my surprise.
I like the way mom rolls.
Yeah. Imagine my surprise when I see my mother sound asleep in bed. I remember sneaking back into my room while my heart was slamming against my chest. Once I went into my room, I shut and locked the door. I am genuinely so scared right now. I don't know what to do. I keep hearing my mother, in quotations, walking around. What do I do? What do y'all think about that story?
Okay. It's
Creepy.
Yeah, for real. It's one thing to see it. Mm-hmm. It's another thing for it to continuously happen.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like you said it's one thing to see it, but I've heard a lot of stories about people, like you would be like in the garage working, and you would hear Amber, "Hey, Chris."
Mm.
And so you walk in to investigate, and Amber's either not here,
Yeah.
or Amber's
Completely
asleep in the
doing something
bedroom,
else.
or something. I've heard a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember one time.
where it's audible or visual, you know, or both.
I remember one time I had clothes on the bed and I was folding them, and our laundry room doors fold, so it kind of stuck out in our bedroom door a little bit. We took them off now, but this was a long time ago. And so I'm folding clothes, and out of the side of my eye, I see Chris come around the corner, and it looked like he kind of hid behind the door, like he was going to scare me. And I said, "Chris, what are you doing?" And I look, and then I take a step back and look, and he is not there.
That's wild. Well, you know, I don't know if everybody knows this. They probably do if they've listened to the podcast any, but all 4 of us have been involved in ghost hunting for over a decade.
Over a decade. Almost
probably,
2.
Yeah. And one time we were at a cemetery, and the reason we'd gone to the cemetery is because we had a lot of family members in town, and they were like, "Oh, I want to go on a ghost hunt."
Well, and a lot of them were like,
Well, and
you know,
they say that shit until they're out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then suddenly they're like,
Yeah, can we go now?
Yeah.
What I meant was I wanted to go out late and then go get Waffle House.
yeah.
But at one point, and like our nephews were there, our kids, there was a lot of people there, and our son Dylan has always had fairly long hair, He just has a unique look about him.
He's very tall, very slender, and long hair. Has a unique gait.
Yeah,
because he's very long-legged, and so.
And so at some point, we're in that cemetery, and our nephew and I were kind of off to the side of everybody else, and I was showing him how a piece of the equipment worked, and we both kind of saw something out of the peripheral vision, and also I think maybe heard footsteps on the gravel, and we both looked up and just went right back to what we were doing, because we both, when we looked up, we thought we saw Dylan walking by.
We witnessed that too. I don't know if Chris did. I think you did too, because we were out in the graveyard.
Yes,
and we were looking at tombstones, looking at dates and stuff, and back a little ways. He had like a gray hoodie on, and he had his hood up.
Yeah, because he always had that.
Because I heard something, looked, and I was like, "Oh, it's Dylan," and we went back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
Well, and I heard her say, "Oh, that was Dylan," and I said,
"No, it's not.
No, it's
Dylan's
not.
over
Dylan's
there."
over there, which
and
was
and
a
that was the same thing that happened.
away.
Yeah, and Dylan was on the other. Cause she shined her flashlight right at him, and he was on the complete other side of the cemetery.
And so that was 4 people who saw
and then we're like looking, we're like, who else is in the cemetery?
Right,
Yeah,
like,
shit. I mean, literally, we like looked around to see if there was anybody,
So
like,
that's
what
4
the hell?
people that saw this figure, and they all thought it was Dylan. When Dylan was a football field away, and trust me when I tell you, he just don't move that fast.
Yeah, he don't.
Like,
nothing's that important.
So it's one thing when one person sees it, but how do you explain? Because one person could maybe, you see something out of the corner of your eye, and you're kind of like matrixing. Your mind tells you what it is.
Yeah.
But when 4 people see the exact same thing, makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we're like, someone else has to be here. But no, we never found anybody.
There was never. There was no
Nope.
other vehicles. We were not near any houses. There was no one else there. Nobody ever saw the figure again.
No.
And that freaked Reed out.
Yeah.
And
it
not
kind
much-
of freaked me out, because I swear to God, I'm serious. We were looking, and I was showing him how something worked, and we both looked up, and I was like, "Oh, it's Dylan." And I mean, I didn't say that, but in my head, "Oh, it's just Dylan." And then when you were like, "No," you were responding to Amber, and you're like, "No, it's not. He's over there." And we both looked, and we're like, what the hell?
Look back over here, no one's there.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one time, oh my God, this was so long ago. It was, Alexis hasn't lived with us for like 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had to be like...
She had to be like 14.
Yeah, this was when she was like...
She was in her hateful asshole stage.
Yeah. This was when she was about 13, 14.
Yeah, and
That's about the hateful asshole stuff.
yeah, that's
They all hit it. It's bad.
yeah. Well, she was in it, and I mean prime, and to the point that right before this happened, we had got into a screaming match about what I'm sure was something fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were getting ready to go somewhere.
Yeah, we were like gonna go to the mall or some
I don't
shit
know
like
why, but going somewhere often triggers the hateful asshole stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did in our house a lot. It's like,
Yeah.
as
Well,
long as
and-
nobody went anywhere, we were fine. But the minute we had to like...
that. Well, yeah, and when she would puff her chest out, neither one of us backed down.
Right.
So it just, it would go from 0 to 100 pretty quick. And that's what had happened. And she got pissed and fucking stormed out and sat in the car.
Yeah, Chris was standing in between the kitchen and the living room.
Now, hold on. Keep in mind, when our front door, one of our doors is open, the alarm goes front door.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
Did we
yeah,
have that yet?
Yeah. Well, we've
Yes.
had that since we moved in.
Yeah.
You had that
for a
all
long time.
Yeah.
long as I can remember.
We were getting ready to go somewhere, just had a fight. Chris was standing right there, so across from the door, probably 15 feet.
And you were in the bathroom, I think.
And she had just gone out. She was going to go wait in the car. I had to run to the bathroom real quick, so I had gone down the hallway.
And I had ducked into the kitchen to do something, and probably just to fucking get away from the argument, because I absolutely hate arguing. but anyway, so I walked back out, and we had like a what was that, like a Nordic track or one of those.
It was a exercise bike.
One of those exercise fucking things right in the middle of the living room, because that's where that's supposed to be. And I walk in, and she is sitting on it. Alexis is sitting on it, scowling at me like I've never seen before.
Okay.
And he just saw her walk out the door.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that thing goes front door if it's open.
Yep.
And I heard it once, and then I walked out, and she's sitting there scowling at me, and I swear to God, I blinked and she was gone.
Huh.
It was the scariest fucking thing. Oh my God. I think that rivals. So when we first moved in, and we haven't had any kind of activity in a long, long, long time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if anything happens when Andrea moves in.
Well,
is she a believer?
Oh, yes, because let me tell you what, she had to have the house that she's moving out of saged.
Okay.
Because,
Well, it wouldn't be a bad idea for this one, too.
Damn.
Well, no, all right, so when we first
don't you
moved
have
in...
to put that in the disclosure?
No, I read the disclosure. All 54 line items, and that's not listed.
well, in Andrea, the house
made
that
sure.
Andrea is in Oklahoma now, the one she's about to put up for sale, they've only been in it, 3 years?
Yeah, about that.
And-
oh, wow, that's not long at all.
And when they know that an occupant, a woman that lived there, died there.
Oh, wow.
And like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think
no.
I'd have a hard time with that.
And I mean, like, not lived there when she died there.
Yeah. Like on the premises.
Yeah. And like when they first moved in, they would have things like, if you don't know, and you don't because you've never been there, but the living room and her office, there's an archway, but she did a barn door over it that goes to her office. And then behind the living room is the kitchen. And so she would be in her office working, come out and make a drink, go back. Everything would be fine. Now, mind you, the kids are at school, and her husband's at work. And the next time she would go in the kitchen to refill her drink, all the cabinet doors would be open.
No.
I'll say I've never heard this.
Yeah.
About that house.
Yeah.
Well, so when we first moved in here, Alexis would now. All right, so when we moved in here, it was 2007. So right after we moved in, because we moved in July 1st. July 6th, Alexis turned 8. Right, so she's not a toddler, but she's not
right.
Still a little girl.
Yeah, she's still a little girl, and she would, come back there to our bedroom like every fucking night, talking about I hear radio voices or radio
I
kept
voices.
saying radio.
I remember that.
Radio
And we
voices.
were like, baby, we don't know what you're talking about.
And we were thinking it had to be like the neighbor next door's playing their TV loud.
No, okay.
But we would go up front, we'd go out back, we'd listen.
But
and
I
it was
mean, it
just
really though,
silent.
like outside the house really
There's
isn't
no-
that close, is it?
There's
No,
nobody
it's
close
not.
enough.
Yeah.
But
here-
that's the only thing we could think
Right.
of.
Yeah.
I
and-
remember when she did this.
Yeah, and
Because we didn't have any TVs or radio. We're all in
Yeah.
bed. Nothing was on in the house.
Yeah, like Amber said, went up front, went out back, couldn't figure out what she was talking about.
We did that
And-
so many times trying to like hear
Yeah,
someone's
see
TV.
what the hell.
It'd be
yeah.
midnight, and she'd come in there and be like, I'm going to look right now. And nothing. Well, finally, I heard them laying in bed
And it was
right
always
outside the door.
it was always around 10:30ish. I remember
Makes you
that.
wonder, like, what was the significance about?
Yeah,
Because it wasn't like you. It's obvious when someone drives by and their
Right.
music's bumping, and it was
Yeah.
nothing like that. It's like when you're in a hotel and the person next door TV's too loud. It's like,
Well, like,
Yeah.
Well,
like
but it's really fucking unnerving when you're laying in bed and
Yeah.
you can, I mean, wide awake and you can hear the shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I'm not dreaming.
it's like this is what she's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly makes you, you're thinking, I probably should have handled that different, like.
Well, I mean, we weren't assholes
Well,
about
no,
it,
I'm
but
not
we would
saying
try
that,
to
but
figure
like,
it out. But
you're like, what else do you do? But it's when you hear it and you're like, I know there's not a logical
moving
explanation
into this
for that.
house is the whole reason we got into ghost hunting.
Yeah. And like I said, we haven't. Oh my God, we haven't had anything in probably
A
10
long
years.
time.
Okay,
But for the first 5 or 6 years that we were here, it was relatively constant.
Oh my goodness, baby! One of those puppies from today got adopted.
oh. Okay, so she just said, I hear radio voices.
Uh-huh.
So what would you said you heard it laying in bed? What would you
Yeah, how
describe
would you describe it?
Like a
No,
TV
no,
on
the way
other
she
side of
described
a-
it was perfect.
Like
It
a
sounded
TV
like
on
a-
the other side of
it
a
Like
sounded
if you
like
had
a-
that muffled
just a muffled conversation. You can't make out
the words,
Yeah, it
but
was
you
just
can
very,
hear them.
very, very nondescript, but
The rise and fall of conversation, but without
yeah,
hearing
yeah,
words.
it was the patterns.
like any music or just
No.
No, it was like
No,
a
voices.
conversation, but
That's
it was
crazy.
just muffled. You couldn't. It sounded like a conversation, like the cadence and stuff, but you couldn't make out
all
any
those
words.
patterns and stuff, but you couldn't pick out words.
Yeah,
That's
so the way she
wild.
described it, I thought was really perfect.
Yeah, actually, that's very, very articulate for a little kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't understand it,
Yeah.
but now
Once you heard it, it made perfect sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once we heard it, it's like, oh shit. It wasn't like, I wonder if that's what she was talking. It was like, oh shit, that's
That's
it.
exactly what.
That's
Yeah.
it.
exactly
Yep.
what she's talking about.
Yeah, because Andrew, the cabinet doors being open, she also like would hear this like slam of a door and cabinet door, but
I don't think we ever had anything
There's-
like that.
Oh yes, we did.
there
one
was
time,
nobody there to
One
do
time there was a huge slam crash that we know came from the garage, and we went in there and we never found anything out of place. Nothing was falling
no,
down.
yeah, I remember that.
We went outside to look on the side of the house, thinking maybe something hit. Nothing.
it. That reminds me,
Never found out what it was.
when you got up this morning, was there anything that had been knocked over by the animals in the night?
Oh, yes, and you know exactly who did it.
Buffy.
Yes.
Okay, because I heard a big noise and I was like, if we die, we die. I don't know.
had
It's
a
too
good
cold
run.
to get up. You know.
Well, that's like, my God. You remember when we went to the sanitarium one time?
yeah.
At this sanitarium, it's set up like a hospital. And so,
Well, it
like
was a
this-
hospital.
Well, it was a
Well,
hospital.
yeah, but I mean,
Which is convenient that it was set up like
every oh, shut the hell up. So every
I
floor,
like how that works.
every floor, like the center of the building, on each floor would be like the nurse's station, and then they had like these 600-foot wings off to each side or whatever. And so there was only power on the bottom floor. But to turn the lights and stuff off, you had to go all the way to the other end,
God.
turn them off, and then come back to where like the nurse's station area was on the first floor, and there was like one of those like emergency lights. So it was just faint light, barely lit that little nursing room area.
I don't like
and I
that.
remember I went to walking down the hall, kind of in the dark, to turn that light off. And as I'm walking back and see this thing's concrete, all the floors and ceilings are concrete between each level and everything else. It sounded like somebody dropped a freaking body on the
Oh
floor
God.
from the floor above me.
Let me
I
tell
mean,
you
I'm
what.
walking back and I'm like,
Start running.
boom! I'm like,
Dude, I would have.
What the hell was that?
I would have turned into an Ethiopian sprinter at that
I have
moment.
known this man for 35 years. I didn't know his eyes could get that wide open, okay?
No, I don't want part of
I
it.
remember one time, I want to say we were Old Baptist, and we were around like
old Spring Hill.
yeah, I
The
guess.
old,
Yes.
yeah.
And we were around the nurse's station, and there was a door
Yeah.
that
When
was locked
A
because we
friend
tried.
of ours decided to dare the spirits, remember?
Yeah.
And it went, I mean,
It
this was
sounded like someone kicked the door.
right between his legs.
Yeah.
Which,
That was creepy.
Because he
It
was
was
leaned up
creepy.
against the door, and the door was locked. The
and
door
we
had
had,
been
Yeah, we
locked.
couldn't
if you
get out.
recall,
You couldn't
we had
get
all
into that
tried to see if you could like shake
Yeah.
it in the frame, and it wouldn't move.
It was solid.
Yeah.
Is that where what's her name shit in the
Yeah.
non-functional toilet?
Yes.
With no
yes.
toilet paper? It's like,
Yes,
what did
that
you
was
wipe
one
your
of our
ass
finer
with?
moments.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because she's dead now,
We
but
do not claim that turd.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
that is a 400-pound man's turd.
It happened. Okay, we had gone. y'all, when I tell you that our ghost hunting group was an eclectic bunch.
There
Well,
are some
to be
weird
fair,
people in the
four of us-
paranormal field.
The four of us kind of took over, and
Okay, but here's okay. Now, those of you who have, if this is your first go around with us,
We're sorry.
God bless you. We apologize. But if you've
I don't
been
apologize for anything, actually.
if you've been around for a minute, you understand how big this statement is. But I can, with my whole chest, say that in this group of people, the four of us were the normals.
Very normal.
Like
We were the bland vanilla
we were
people.
like, woo, just vanilla. And when I say that,
I like vanilla, though.
yeah, vanilla's
but
good.
let me tell you, we're some weird motherfuckers. And when we're the most normal,
Yeah, when we're the ones doing, oh my god,
like, wow, when you're like, I can't believe he or she said or did or whatever that.
Like
yeah.
when one person has a gastric bypass and eats Mexican food, knowing damn good and well her ass should not have done that,
And then
starts dropping silent but deadly farts, and
another
then the
person
actual
assumes-
leader of the group starts sniffing and talking about, oh, I smell sulfur. Is it a demon?
Yeah,
No,
it's
somebody's
a
farting.
demon of an enchilada.
It's the colon devil.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
That was funny because she just kept sniffing her farts. Oh my god.
The patron saint of chimichangas. That's what it was.
Jesus Christ! It's
Well-
like you smelling
Yeah.
the burrito demon.
So this one lady that went with us, and I'm not going to say her name because she has passed from this life, but she did leave family, of course, and but she was an interesting woman. But so
She was built like Big Ed.
yeah, kind of actually.
Yeah. That wasn't random. We were talking about
No,
Big
we were
Ed
talking
earlier.
about Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé. But anyway, we had all, of course, there was no, this was a defunct hospital, so there was no plumbing. I mean, there was plumbing, but not functional.
Yeah.
No
The
water.
pipes
Yeah.
were there, but the water wasn't.
And
there
no
was
toilet paper
there was no
either.
toilet paper either.
That is it, and
That's
is
the
an
important part.
of this story. So, and it was in kind of a neighborhood that could be sketch.
No, it was in the ghetto.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
it
I
was
was
in the
trying to be.
No, you can
No,
try
it
to
was
be
the
whatever you
ghetto.
want, but when we hear fucking gunfire in the middle of the investigation, that's
Only child.
yeah.
In the so the ladies, we all got in a car and we were like, we're all going to go on a.
Let's make a bathroom.
Oh,
break.
hold
bathroom
on. That reminds me. If this gets 100 downloads, I'll do an entire episode voiced as Cartman.
All right.
100. We gotta remember that number.
Just remember,
100.
I will download it 100 times.
No, that only counts as one.
Oh, that's no.
That
yeah,
doesn't seem
damn.
fair.
Yeah, it
But-
logs
Is
unique
there any way
IP
we can
addresses.
sign in as different people?
Yeah, I mean, how many multiple
You know what? If you got
Maybe-
time to do that,
to make 100
I'll make
identities?
time, bitch.
Maybe your
I will make
uh,
time.
home computer and the phone
Yeah,
and
an
then his phone.
iPad and the,
Y'all- I mean,
and I've got a
y'all-
laptop
that's-
too. That's
that's gonna be some commitment. You know what? You download this bitch 100 times, I'll do a whole short episode as Cartman.
But anyway, so we pull up, and as we're leaving to go on our group potty break, so all the women are safe, we see this woman, and I believe she was coming out of the building with another woman in our group, and we stop thinking, hey, they may need to go to the bathroom, and so Amber was driving, and I'm in the passenger seat. And I roll down the window and I'm like, hey, we're going to go take a potty break. You want to go?
No, I already did.
Yeah.
Thanks.
She's like,
No,
no.
I shit in the toilet
Yeah.
upstairs.
She's like, I just shit in the toilet up there. And I was like, excuse me? And she said, yeah, I just dropped a load up there. And I was like, but
Which is the classy way to
But
say
there-
it.
yeah,
There's no water.
I know. I was like, but was there toilet paper? No. But hey, I had to go.
She's just rocking the itchy ass for the rest of the fucking
Because first of all, I'm like,
muddy ass.
Yeah,
at that.
like I don't
Muddy
know.
ass.
Maybe your
Gross.
turds and my turds are different.
Maybe her asshole prolapsed a little bit like a dog.
I don't know what self-wiping.
Yeah,
asshole.
I don't know, but I wouldn't have been able. I'd have been like, I gotta go home now.
Because I'm not gonna sit around
I ain't gonna be walking around with no muddy asshole.
till 4 in the morning.
I got
No.
people sniffing me thinking I'm a
Well,
demon.
first of all, wouldn't your asshole itch? Like I would be like all over my chair, like trying to scratch my chocolate starfish or whatever.
Oh, my
no.
I got an itchy balloon knot.
Really?
And I just looked at her and I was like, okay then.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back in a minute.
See, y'all didn't tell me that shit till
Later.
we were already back to Cabot.
Yeah.
Because I remember y'all said that, and I was like, "Oh, she's nasty! Oh my God, you're nasty!"
We probably couldn't say it because she was around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't we all go to IHOP after that?
Yeah.
God, I hope she didn't come with us.
all
She
didn't.
did.
Yes.
She
Did
did. Because we were making fun of Felix. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, was that the time?
Yes.
Oh, he got so mad.
Oh my God! So Felix,
He was
who
an
I hope
ex-con.
I hope is not listening to what?
Yeah. So what if he is?
Yeah, fuck
he
him
was
if
an
he is.
ex-con.
He is a felon. The circumstances are kind of fucked up. He told me about it.
Oh, I don't know the
Oh,
circumstances.
well, I'll tell you. So he was out drinking one night. Got into a bar fight.
Okay.
Turns out the guy that he got in the bar fight with was a cop.
Oh, that's not smart.
That's bad.
Yeah. So he wound up getting charged with assaulting an officer.
Oh, now wait. Was
Yeah.
the cop working?
No,
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
BS.
I don't think so either.
Especially if he didn't identify himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently after it was done, he
Yeah, well,
did.
that's
He did
what
Well,
identify
that's,
himself.
yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
too
too
late.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, you know what?
That's
you're,
like some-
you're preaching to the choir. I know.
That's like having sex with somebody and then at the end, after everybody has orgasms, everybody has a happy ending. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, it doesn't
I
work
said
that way.
no.
but
Like
Bitch, you
after the
came
fact.
4 times.
but apparently when they went to court, he said, "I identified myself as a cop." And nobody asked when he identified
Oh,
himself.
that is not
Right.
okay.
So Felix got fucked over pretty hard.
He got ran up the river then.
Yeah, he did, and he wound up doing. I want to say it was 3 years in.
He was a little man.
Yeah, he wasn't a big guy. He did a couple of years in the pokey.
Because I'm thinking he would. Like, I bet he was, and I'm not being funny. It sounds like I am, but I'm not.
It was not a pleasant experience.
Well, yeah, I feel bad now because I would imagine he was scared, like to be physically harmed,
Oh, probably.
because he was not a big.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a big
he
dude
was
at
not
all.
a tough guy.
But anyway, he was intensely homophobic.
Oh my god. Well, it all makes sense.
Well, no,
Well, yeah.
because I specifically asked him about that.
Oh.
About this
You
is kind
asked him if
do you
somebody.
think he'd tell you
Yes.
the truth?
Yeah.
So how does this come up? So when you were in the pokey, did anybody make you their bitch?
Just like that.
All right then.
Actually, what I asked him was when he was in prison, did he get raped?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, y'all know that I don't fucking keep shit filtered out most of the time. And so
But
so he straight up told me, he said, "No, I didn't," and they kept all the gay people on another wing or whatever.
But there's a difference in gay and prison gay.
No, I know, but that's what he said, and I didn't push it. I was just, making conversation, I guess. I don't
Really? I didn't push it.
Were y'all
I was just
drinking?
making
When you were,
conversation.
No, we weren't drinking. You were
when you were
there.
in prison, did you get your butthole raped? But,
Were you-
but I
were
wasn't
you
going
corn-
to push
were
it
you
into some.
cornholed while you were in
Yeah, I'm
prison?
not going to push it into some awkward conversation.
Yeah.
Well, no, we were he. All right, so the way this got brought up, we had no. All right,
What
no,
I had said was.
no, we had done an investigation at some really, really, really dangerous place.
It was
There was that strip club.
Probably, yeah, the strip
where
club. Yeah.
the
that
dead
was
ladies,
probably-
the poop lady's
Oh,
daughter.
Was
that
a dancer.
your-
When we went there to interview her, she's like, I work here. And we were like, oh, cool. So you're a waitress? And then she goes, no, I'm a dancer. And in concert, all of our heads just cocked to the side.
Yeah, this girl didn't have the
Really?
body to be a dancer. I mean, maybe in like deep
I
South
think that
Alabama,
was
but
definitely the iffiest place we ever did.
Oh,
an
That was
investigation.
Definitely.
hinky as
But-
fuck, but it was funny.
but so with this being in such a dangerous part of town, everybody was armed,
yeah.
including Felix.
Yeah.
Even though he shouldn't have been. Right.
Yeah.
Right, and so I had mentioned it.
We were in the car with the leader, right?
Who was also dead now, and I had said something about him being a convicted felon.
And it was nothing like we weren't talking bad. It was something that slipped out in normal conversation.
Yeah, in normal 2:00 in the morning conversation, because we had to wait until the club closed before we could start.
even go in.
Yeah, so we were already getting there super, super late.
What, what?
Then,
That's why we don't ghost hunt anymore. I can't keep those hours.
I
no.
know.
I got shit to do during the day. I can't do both.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how it came up. So, I don't know where we were going with that, but yeah.
I don't know.
It was because he found out, because she said something. I don't know if she said something to him, but he found out that you had said something to her. And it was like, we weren't trying to be, it just slipped out. It wasn't. Like
he found out that he told her that he was a felon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
And then for whatever reason we're talking about it, and I straight up asked him, I was like, so did you, and he said, get raped in prison? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no, they kept those gay motherfuckers over there, blah, blah, blah.
That had to be.
Something tells me they probably didn't.
Well, hey, you know what? That's what he said. I've never been to prison.
Well, now that he's homophobic, I don't feel bad about saying that Ghost wanted his ass.
Yeah. Well, but he was intensely homophobic. And we were
And not
To the point that we would make him feel uncomfortable on purpose because
that's not okay.
Yeah, well, so we after that thing at the Old Baptist Hospital, we went to IHOP. And now keep in mind we're delirious. It's like 4 in the morning. It's us.
We blend right in with the drunk people.
Oh
Yeah,
because
it's
we're
us.
drunk just from being so sleepy.
Yeah, it's us and the people that are shit faced that have left the club.
Cold as that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cold. And and
all that concrete.
And so we keep making these fucking gay comments at Felix, and he's just getting increasingly mad. And at one point, he storms off to the bathroom, and I said something to the general effect of "Don't let him grab your ass on the way out" or something like that. And he just storms off, little midget walk to the bathroom. And I don't know why I said that. Felix is not short, but whatever.
He's just a tiny little man.
Yeah, he's taller than me.
Yeah, probably.
He's like 5'10" or whatever. But he storms off to the bathroom, and one of us, actually it was me, slammed my fist on the table and said, "If we can't make fun of the gays, what are we even doing here?"
And then Vicky gets mad because her son's gay.
Yeah,
her
her son
gal
likes
pal
dick.
Tony T.
Yeah,
that's how she referred to him, and I'm like, remember she decided we didn't like him because he was gay, and I was like,
we're like,
it
who
has
said that?
nothing to do.
It was like when we all went to Hooters and we're like, hey,
he can't go to Hooters.
Why don't you? Tell your son he's more than welcome to come.
Yeah, come have him join us.
I don't think he'd like it there. It's like they're not giving out blowjobs. We're not going to fuck the waitresses. Jesus, we're going to eat the chicken wings.
It's like, oh no, boobs.
I mean, like, we were women and we were going. It's not like...
Yeah, it's not like these... I mean, they're clothed.
Remember when she told me...
About his STD?
Yeah, graphic detail.
You got to tell everybody that because that shit's fucking hilarious.
So, okay.
Again, Vicky's dead, so we're not...
We're sorry.
But again, we're the normal ones in the group.
So, okay. All right. I don't believe there's any way to have this discussion without having the whole discussion.
Well, get to it then.
And so, okay. Everybody, I mean, I've talked about having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and sometimes when we're on these long investigations, I'm okay for the first couple of rounds, because what we normally do is we break it up into like 45-minute segments. We go and walk and investigate, and then we come back and correlate evidence and go through things. And after we've done that a few times, depending on, how cold or hot or, just the environment, sometimes I'm just kind of done. And so this was one of those times I just was hurting really bad, and I just couldn't face the stairs again. So I sent everybody else off, and I was like, I'll stay down here and watch the equipment and, kind of be command station. And so that's what I was doing. And I should have just been in pain. It would, in the end, it would have been less painful. Okay,
is that why you threw us under the bus that one time?
You got a different kind of pain. Then.
With the fucking ghost phone. It was a payback.
Payback.
My ass! I'll tell everybody about that in just a fucking second.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm sitting there, and we had brought this person, and I'm not going to say their name because they're still active. I saw them post on Facebook the other day. But we're just going to say, I can't say that because that sounds like it's me. They have the same initials as me. So we're just going to call the hippie. And so
The hippie.
the hippie.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
This was an old sanitarian.
Oh yeah.
And sanitarium. And so this person.
Yeah. This is the one of the times y'all went that we did not.
Yeah, you did not go this time.
I'd probably call her chopstick.
Yeah. We call or tapeworm.
Yeah,
Tapeworm.
Any of those work,
Hey,
really.
tapeworm, how's it going?
So this lady that wasn't normally a part of our group, who was invited by the leader of the group, and I've never seen.
It makes it sound like a cult when you keep saying leader.
I know, the leader of the band, but
I mean, I guess we could say her name. She's dead.
I just don't.
It already slipped out of me once.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Like a
I didn't
burrito.
catch it until afterwards.
So-
I was like,
Just
well,
what he said.
Just slipped out like it just
that's
slipped
what Chris
out.
says all the time.
Just slipped out like a burrito for her.
Yeah, like a burrito, fucking like the ghost of a burrito. So anyway, our former leader, and it was not a cult because we didn't. I mean, like she thought she was in charge, but we didn't do anything she said. So it was the world's
kinda,
worst cult.
Yeah.
Her name was Vicky, and she had.
We aren't gonna say her last name.
No.
I can't remember it. But
I can, but
I
I'm
can.
not gonna say it.
the fuck was it?
What?
Just mouth it to me.
keep talking.
I'm like, no, I'm watching your little fingers spell it out. So,
Oh no, I got it. Yeah. Okay.
I could have just said,
No, because it's a real odd name. I've noticed.
So she invited this hippie person, and I have never, like, when you ghost hunt in a group, it takes a lot of equipment, and I mean, we bring a lot of stuff. I swear to
we
God,
had
this bitch.
thousands of dollars worth of
Oh
equipment.
yeah, this bitch moved in. I have never seen so much stuff come out of one car, and
looked like the Clampets.
and weird stuff.
weird stuff. And so I'm sitting there, and like Chris had mentioned, when it gets that certain level of late, you start to get punch drunk, where nothing's funny or everything's funny. And if it's funny, it's not funny.
It's fucking
the
hilarious.
Funniest
it's
thing
the funniest goddamn thing you've ever heard.
And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm, I've got my headphones on, and I'm kind of going through, listening to the EVPs, trying to see if we caught anything on previous rounds. And like you do when you kind of zone out and just kind of stare off into space. And I'm doing that, and I see this person who has had her hair up in a bun all night with chopsticks as like the hair sticks. Because I didn't know they were chopsticks at the time. They just looked like the hair sticks. Mm-hmm. I see her open up this tackle box looking thing, and she pulls out what looks like a little baby food jar that's got this like silty kind of, it looked like salt water with chunks.
That was cum. You're welcome.
Whew, that made me sick.
Yeah.
What were the chunks?
Kidney
Coagulated cum. Babies, dude. I don't know how else you want me to say it.
And so she pulls it out, and like it kind of, so now I'm engaged. I'm like, what is it? And there were things floating in it, like long
Sperm.
No, these were, it looked like long, very translucent egg noodles.
Cum worms.
And I was like, I don't know what that's about. And the next thing I know, she whips those chopsticks out of her hair.
I would have puked.
And
Oh, dude,
just
I
like,
mean, we were like-
whips into that little jar and pulls out what looks like a fucking tapeworm and just eats it. and then she takes the chopsticks.
You didn't say anything?
I think they were in shock.
We were
I was
just
in
like,
shock.
If we would have been there, I wouldn't have been able to stop myself. I'd have been like, "What?
Yeah,
the
because we
fuck
never met
was
her.
That?
No,
That was after she
we
walked
saw
out.
her
We did
one
that.
time at a meeting.
yeah.
Well, then she takes these chopsticks and kind
Licks
of
them off.
licks them off and just
Sticks them
sticks them
back
back
in
in
her
her head.
Oh god!
And I'm just sitting there, and when I'm speechless,
And
some
she was,
weird
too. I mean, she was
shit has gone down. So I'm just like gape-mouthed in horror looking at her. And I guess she finally looks over and she looks at me, and I'm still just with my jaw hanging open like, what the fuck?
well, and
And she goes, yeah, you got to get your protein in.
God.
And I was like,
From the cum noodles.
I was like, that didn't make it better.
No.
And so I'm just sitting there
I'm
like,
gonna put hashtag cum noodles, by the way.
I'm just like shaking my head and
No, I would have.
I don't think anybody's going to be
Please don't.
searching. I don't think anybody's going to be searching
search
for
cum
that.
noodles. So we're
No.
not going to do hashtag cum noodles.
Yeah,
But-
we are.
Oh
my God.
Doppelganger.
Cum noodles.
And so
Oh my God.
I'm just sitting there, and now she's like,
I would have had to have had an explanation.
Oh yeah, if I'd been there, I'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, what exactly did you just fucking eat?
Literally, we were all just
I
like
was
going.
just shocked. I couldn't say a fucking thing.
And then she left, and everybody in there was like,
Did you
"What
see
the hell was that?"
And like, and so
And what else do you have in your hair?
she went to go to the bathroom,
Squirrels.
and we were all looking at each other,
We'd have
going,
packed up
"What
and
the
left."
fuck just happened in this room? What the hell did you see that shit?" And our friend, who is the heating and air specialist, was in the room, and he looked at me, and when he and I are both speechless
Yeah,
at the
'cause
same
I
time.
ain't never seen that shit.
No.
I'm telling you, it
A
was
fucking
like
angel lost its wings is what happened.
we were just like,
Because usually one of you motherfuckers got something to say.
and it's usually like some smart ass, we're usually dueling to see who can be the biggest smart ass.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just like, I don't know, but I don't feel safe. And
I am ready to leave now.
the ghosts don't frighten me at all.
Yeah.
And so she comes back, and we're both trying to act like we weren't just talking about her, saying that the bitch is crazy. And she goes, "Well, I guess I'm going to run my shift and go up there." And I was like, "Okay." And
That's a good idea.
yeah, like, and I swear to God, just when I thought this shit can't get any weirder, she pulls out of this pack and puts on, because she's worried.
yeah.
Now, mind you, she just ate some kind of fucking pickled tapeworm, and I saw her do it with chopsticks that had been riding around in her skanky ass unwashed hair all night. And so, but then she pulls out this mask. And
It's a
like,
gas-
World War I gas
gas
mask.
it is a World War I gas mask with the
I'm
like you
talking
said-
with
Like the
like
metal canister.
with like
tank girl
authentic
shit.
rust on
Yeah,
it and shit.
like with the little rebreather things on the
Like
side.
rusty as fuck.
And they were rusty canisters. Like the whole thing was just, it looked like it'd been on the bottom of the goddamn ocean. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm worried about the
'cause of
tuberculosis
asbestos
and the
and stuff."
asbestos."
Okay, the asbestos, that's legit. But tuberculosis only lives
Yeah,
like...
dead by now.
That was gone.
Yeah, it only
But-
lives
Well,
like
but
30
Chris,
seconds outside the body.
Even the asbestos, I mean, you're talking a couple hours of
Yeah, she's
exposure
not moving
to
into the
just
place.
random floating
And
asbestos.
so,
It's not like
I
the demolishing
finally,
part
at
of
this
it.
Yeah.
point, come out of my stupor that was induced by the tapeworm incident, and I'm like, "Hey, just a thought. I don't."
It's probably worse breathing out
I
of
was
those
like,
rusty
"Aren't you
canisters
worried about
than
the
it
rust
is."
you're putting in your
yeah,
lungs? For God's sake,
it's like there's
The
a
tapeworm will take care of that.
there's,
Yeah.
But
They
it's like-
travel
it's-
around their body scrubbing off all that foreign
It's like
substance.
there's a 30% chance you're going to inhale a little bit of asbestos, but if you wear that gas mask, there's a 100% chance you're going to inhale a lot of
and
rust.
like, it,
yeah.
I
and
really
so-
wish we'd have been there
and so
for
she
that.
went
No,
off,
me
and it
too.
looked like something
Well-
out of. Like,
That is my one regret during ghost hunting.
Because
is
here's
that
the
we
thing, you have
weren't
to
there.
understand how she's dressed. So she's wearing this like ankle length like
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Hippie dress.
hippie dress
Yeah.
Oh, I
with
was
all these pleats and folds, and it just fans out everywhere she
And
goes.
boots.
It's got long flowy sleeves, and she's got
That sounds pretty
combat.
cool.
Combat
she's got
boots.
combat boots on. Now she's got. It looked like something out of a dystopian.
I see you nodding. Do we need to get you a baby jar with some tapeworms?
No,
And a-
but the dress would
But
be
she's
nice.
like-
and a rusty gas mask.
It looked like something out of a dystopian wet dream. Okay, I mean, like
Well,
what?
that is Amber's style.
you know,
Damn, she's hot.
like Tank Girl meets
I thought you said taint girl.
No.
Tank
Yeah, that's
girl.
it.
Tank Girl meets Grandma Clampett.
Unless they're
Yeah,
people
it
are
was
our
kinda
age are
odd.
going to have no idea what we're talking about. Tank
probably or Grandma Clampett. But anyway, and off she goes. And again, me and our HVAC friend are just like, what? Why don't we videotape this shit? Like,
Yeah.
no one's going to.
I
believe
really
it.
don't know what I would have done because I'm either super quiet and don't talk,
That's hard to
or
believe.
I get loud and just
Well, you know
yell at
me.
people.
I am not a shy individual.
Oh, I'm not either.
I'm not.
And I know exactly what I would have said.
You.
What the fuck what
No,
was that?
because I'm telling you, that would be my normal reaction. But this was just so
Yeah,
fucking weird.
speechless.
I was just struck dumb.
Y'all got to tell them because this is another one that we missed.
I'll tell him about
You
Sir
talking about the crack
Meth house.
No.
store?
Robert.
The crack
He's talking
Sir
about
store?
Sir
Robert.
Robert.
Yeah.
Oh, Sir Robert.
So
okay.
anyway,
Nah,
so
a
this
fucking
all
crack house is a
happens,
crack
and now our
house. They're all the
HVAC
same.
friend is
Oh,
still
that was-
sitting here beside
but
me.
this other fucking thing, that's a one-off.
So
Oh, and by the way, that also is apparent. She says, or they both say that we screwed them over on the ghost phone thing, but they jumped
Yeah.
our ass on this thing.
No. Okay. Hold
wait,
on.
I'm not done.
Okay.
so me and the
She got pretty
HVAC
goddamn animated about that.
me and the HVAC guy are just sitting here, and we're just frankly shell shocked. And so she stomps off in her boots and her mask and her chopstick hair and to go digest her tapeworm, and we're looking at each other like, what the fuck? And then in comes Vicky, the group leader, and she's come in for her rest, and she was one of those people with a glass face. You know what I mean? Like
Totally
every
see-through.
concern, every thought you could just see flit across her face. She could not hide it. And she looked like she had just lost her best friend. And I
Because
know
that bitch ate her tapeworm.
I know that this-
tapeworm.
You were supposed to save me.
I brought that from home.
I know that if you listen to this podcast, it's hard to believe this, but I am a deeply empathetic soul. I am. Oh my God, we all know I am.
No,
Maybe.
he
Wait,
laughed and you
whoa,
looked at him like,
whoa.
"What the fuck?"
a deeply empathetic soul for animals. For humans, not so fucking much.
I am empathetic.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, it's true.
Animals, I will cry at the drop of a hat. But people, I'm like, you gotta, come on.
That bitch be crazy.
Animals and kids.
Yeah, kids.
Yeah.
Because, adults, motherfucker, you have
Get your shit
agency. You can get your shit together. But animals and kids, I'll fuck you up, but it breaks my heart. But anyway, so I see her and she was kind of, even though she was like old enough to be my mom, she was kind of childlike. So it triggered that empathetic part in me. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong, Vicky? And you look, because it looked like she'd been crying. And she said, I'm just so worried. And I was like, oh, was there anything? I mean, will it help you to talk? And why did I say that? Like, what?
See, that's the big difference between you and me.
You're not
because
empathetic
I'm
at
not
all.
empathetic at all.
You
I'm so
you
worried.
lack
Oh well, I'm sorry
empathy.
to hear that. Let me go smoke or
Yeah, and
something.
me, I'm like, how can I take your pain on and try to heal you?
Yep, nope, I'm not gonna do that.
And so
I get very awkward in those situations. Like, especially if someone starts crying, I'm just like,
Oh God, I hate that.
I don't know what to do.
Amber,
It's like I
you know what Amber
freeze.
does? She freezes,
Yeah.
and then when
Like
you
a
blink,
deer.
she
And then
runs
darts.
like hell. Yeah, she's like,
Like a deer, like a skittish animal.
Like, what? Where'd Amber go?
She's in the car.
Emotion.
Yeah. Emotion.
and so
Oh fuck, that's great.
I'm like, do you need to talk, Vicky? Can I help? And Jordan, our HVAC friend,
You can talk to him.
he's over there looking at me like, I know where you're headed with this, because his mom is a psychic, and she's very empathetic.
Who?
Our HVAC friend,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Helena Psychic
Yeah,
Fair.
the fair.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was his mom.
yeah, that's his mom.
And
Oh,
so,
shit, okay.
And so, he knew where this was going. He was like, you don't want to do this. I've been down this road. I've seen this shit.
I'll
He
be back
turns
later.
around and
Yeah, he's like, and so, and she's like, I just I'm just beside myself. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What's wrong? And here's the thing. That woman didn't even like me. She like really legitimately hated my guts.
I don't think she liked any of us, really.
No, because she knew once we joined, it was over. Her reign was over.
What did I do to her?
We took over. But not on purpose. It just happened. Over. People just started listening to us instead of her.
See, that's because I talk like I know what I'm talking about, even if I don't.
Well, see,
you can get a lot of shit. You can get away with a lot of shit if you speak with confidence.
There's a lot of truth in that statement. Fake it till you make it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I straight up told someone one time about the way a system works, and both of us knew that I was not telling the right shit. But I said it so confidently. He was like,
"Okay,
man, I don't think that's right." But now I got to look it up. Yeah.
But so
we both knew I was
this woman
shit,
did not like me. So, but I still, when my empathy is engaged.
What's the opposite of that? Because I have that apathy, I guess.
And you had
serial killerness.
No,
you had a sociopathic lack of empathy.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't know about that. I think the lack of empathy would be apathy. You care too much, and I just don't care.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. And so she's like, I don't know what to do about my son, and I'm not going to say his name because
he is still alive, and we don't want him.
And we don't. That's no bueno. But I was like, what about your son? Like, is he okay? And she's like, well, I'm worried about his health. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh God, I know
what's wrong.
Which this is going to make us sound like worrying about someone's health. That is no joking matter.
No. It was just what happened.
But now go ahead because it's funny.
So I was like, oh my God, no, that's awful. And she was like,
what's wrong with it? No.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. Well, what happened? Because she said, well, I didn't know if I was going to be able to make this trip because he's been in the hospital. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. And she said, yeah, he was in the ER, but he was discharged and they sent him home. And I was like, well, I mean, is he okay? And she said,
there was a lot of discharge.
Oh, you are disgusting.
So much. And so she said, yeah, he's okay. And I was like, okay, well, do they think, what's the prognosis?
It's going to fall off.
And she said, well, they put him on some antibiotics. Now, mind you, her son was 43 years old.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
And that was 12, 13 years ago.
At least, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. He got an infection. She said, yeah.
You could say that.
Yeah. She said, it looked bad. And I was like, oh, no. So it's like a skin infection?
And here's where it all went sideways. Come on with it.
There's skin.
Yeah,
it's
and
infected.
she's like, yeah. He showed it to me, and it looked dangerously infected. And I was like, oh my God. Well, were they able to
you
wrap
fucking
it?
asked for that.
Were they?
You
like repeatedly.
Were they able to wrap it? She said no. They were worried about circulation. And now I'm starting to get worried because I've seen limbs wrapped.
Yeah,
all of them.
Was it his finger? Or
yeah, and I've seen digits wrapped. I've seen
maybe a foot.
Torsos. Like I've seen most body parts wrapped. And she said, well, it's his penis. And now I'm making that face. And I'm trying so hard.
Damn, how can I get out of this now?
You asked for it every step of the way.
No, you stepped right into that bullshit.
And so I'm like trying not to react. Because I have big feelings on the inside that I'm trying to keep it all on the inside.
See, I can't do that because my
Chris doesn't have that.
I can keep my mouth shut, but this face is an open book.
Yeah. And so she said, and he showed it to me, and it was so.
I held it in my hand.
Oh, it was so red and so swollen.
No matter how many times I kissed it, it didn't make it better.
It was peeling.
Oh my God!
And I was like. And all I'm thinking, I'm the mother of sons. I'm the mother of sons, and all I'm thinking is
That's a lot of jerking it.
well, first of all, my
Lube,
children
motherfucker, lubrication.
were children. I mean, like preteens, teens at the time. I'm thinking I hadn't seen their junk since they were old enough to wash their own ass. And I hope, and we're close, but we are not that close. Okay, it's not going to happen. If my sons have a penile infection, I'm never going to know.
No, you need to
take
go
that shit to the doctor.
Right.
Yeah, you need to go to the doctor.
Or a priest or something, but not me.
The priest.
Have your wife look at it.
Yeah,
Have an exorcist done on it.
and she's like, it's leaking this fluid.
Oh my god.
And it's
The
swollen. And I was like, oh, that does sound
That
bad.
sounds like the clap.
And I said,
Yeah.
and I know this is upsetting to you, but I mean, I'm just being realistic. That sounds like an STD. And she goes, it can't be. And I'm like,
Oh, we can.
was
Those
like,
are real.
Well, why the hell not?
I was like, yeah. I mean, it really sounds like one, especially the peeling and the dripping and the redness, and it sounds like it sounds like his dick's rotting off. And she goes, it can't be an STD because he's a virgin
43.
at 43.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Like, it don't sound like it.
I'd be like, okay
A
then.
virgin to girls.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
a virgin. I don't think his hand
A
gave him
virgin
that.
or aversion to girls?
Like, I don't think his hand gave him an STD.
No, probably not.
It might have. You don't know.
You don't know where that bitch has been.
Yeah, what's he been putting his hands in?
Yeah, and so
You don't know where Rosie's been.
our friend
Dirty
over
assholes.
here
No, his
is
hand's
turning
name is
colors.
Randy.
He is turning colors because he is trying so hard to laugh. There are tears in his eyes. And I'm just like, help me. I know that I'm like,
Hell no.
I've got
because
these-
yet again,
I've got
you
these-
asked for it the
these
whole damn
big,
way.
like sad eyes, like, help me. And he just turns.
No. And I'll quietly whisper, no.
No, he just wipes his eye
That is straight off The Watchmen, by the way.
and he gets up and turns his back on me and walks away.
That's exactly what I would have done.
And well, what am I supposed to do?
Don't care. You did that shit to
Yeah.
yourself.
And
Exactly.
now she's crying about her son's dick.
Every step of the way. Oh,
Because-
you should have hugged her. And
Because if I would have stayed in there, someone would have got some feelings hurt.
And so
No, I could see you and me just slowly inching towards the door.
Because, I'm telling you, man, if I
Chris
would
be
have
like,
stayed.
oh, we are past due for a smoke
Yeah,
break.
because if I don't, motherfuckers' feelings get hurt. I'm telling you.
And like, so I just sat there and I was like, well, I tell you what, I would get a second opinion because that really sounds like an STD. But I'm gonna, and like, I had a religious phase, but this wasn't it. But I couldn't think of anything else to say. So I was like, I'm gonna pray about it. And I got up and I walked out.
I'm going to do that right now.
I'm gonna go pray about that right now.
While I tell everybody what you just told me.
As soon as I find Chris and Amber house, and I, yeah, and I believe I might have called y'all. I don't know.
I don't know. I think you told us about it that next weekend.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah. You told us about we were eating at Burger King. I remember when you fucking told us about it.
Oh, that's right.
Because you told us about that and the Sir Robert thing at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sir Robert was in another. There was another colorful.
That was in an old theater.
Yes, there was
This is
another.
going to be a 2-hour episode, and I don't fucking care.
There was another. There was this guy who's also died, who was a member of our group, and he was always very.
Weird.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I could never tell if he was coming on to me,
Or coming on me.
or my empathy had made him think that I was more.
Open to swinging.
No, not that. Ew.
Him and his
Wife for swingers.
him and his buddy and his buddy's wife were swingers.
Well, and his wife too, but she just wasn't part of the group.
I
Oh,
didn't think
that's
he was
right. I
married.
forgot about that.
Yeah, no, he was married.
Yeah.
Then where did he get that Russian chick?
I think he just kept her in the
He
basement.
kept her in the basement to take those fantasy pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much to tell y'all.
Yeah, like so
Y'all should get out more. It's fun.
so he was an astral traveler. I'll never be
Astral glide. What?
Astroglide Traveler.
I'll never be mature enough to say that out loud. But and he would go, remember he would go to the interdimensional camel races,
Yes,
and we're not.
I
I know it sounds like we're making
I
this
heard
shit
him say
up.
it. Heard him say
But
it.
he
say that.
actually told us that, and we were like, do tell. And
Nobody
Well,
said
that's
do
what-
tell.
that's all-
No, we
hey.
didn't want him to tell.
Yeah.
He volunteered that bullshit, and we
That's-
couldn't get away fast enough.
That's also where the ghost phone came from, if you remember.
Yeah.
That mother. Okay. Hold on. So you've got, like, we're at an hour. You've had 57 minutes of it.
Okay,
I
sorry.
got to tell them how y'all fucking. No, you specifically through.
Damn, that
through,
got-
No, through her and me by proxy under the fucking bus. We did this investigation at the what was that,
It's a museum.
MacArthur.
MacArthur
Yeah,
Military Museum.
Yeah.
And this guy was there. His name was Mark. He's the one that died, and he was a psychic.
He was an
Right?
astral
Yeah. He was an astral.
physicist or something.
No, not physicist. He was an astral traveler. And anyway, he was talking to the. It was like the curator, fucking woman that
The person basically-
drew the short straw to watch
had
after
to
us
stay
that
with us.
night or whatever.
Had to watch
And-
the kids, yeah.
Yeah, and she was being polite.
Yeah.
And then this fucking idiot said, and I'd like someone to stay right here and listen for the ghost phone. There was an old fucking rotary
It was
phone.
not attached.
No,
That
it
was-
wasn't a
No.
It was the kind that you pick up,
and have the hand had
like
that
the little.
Oh, that's right, like the,
They
They had the handset. It
switchboard
was like
style
a
phone.
old
Yeah.
style.
And this
yeah.
thing was not attached. There was no cords going to it. And I was like, I want someone to hold this and listen to it. And fucking Brandy said, that sounds like a great job for Amber. And she took off up the stairs. And Amber's like just standing there like a deer in the headlights. And I
Of
just
course,
dropped.
Chris has to come with me.
And I just dropped my head and went, fuck. and we stood there long enough for Mark to walk around the corner, and we apologized to the woman.
I'm
because-
sorry. He just gets like
We're
that.
sorry. We're the normal ones.
Yeah, we really did. We were like, I am so sorry. And then she went off to do whatever she was doing,
Yeah.
and we fucking went back to what we were doing. Leave us there like, this is some bullshit is what it was.
I don't regret it. Not a damn bit. And so
It does make a good story.
well, that was I was gonna throw the person who fouled the bathrooms under the
Oh
bus,
my
but
God.
she hadn't come out yet. So I was like,
Yeah,
Oh.
she was still... This bitch... she had... We're not going to say her name.
IBS, basically.
No.
this wasn't IBS.
No, it wasn't
Oh,
her shit was
IBS.
haunted inside.
She had,
Oh,
she
God.
had a gastric bypass
That's
surgery.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you have that, there's a lot of foods that you're not supposed to eat. You're not supposed to eat spicy food. Not supposed to eat a bunch of sugar. And it's like she would eat spicy sugar.
Yeah, they'd come
a
with
spicy sugar sandwich.
I mean,
They'd
I
come
did-
with
it's like-
bags of like the cakes, the dessert cake, zebra
Little Debbie's.
cakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like she took
Swiss
the list.
rolls.
It's like she took the list of shit she's not
Let's
supposed to
get
eat,
all of those.
and that's what she would bring, and she would eat it all, and then I don't know why my stomach's all fucked up. I don't either, but the whole goddamn world
Farting up
can
and down
smell
the
what you're doing in that
hallways.
fucking
Yeah.
bathroom.
And then,
So-
and then go in the bathroom.
Oh my
and it
God,
was like
yeah.
The Exorcist.
At MacArthur, there was only the one bathroom, and of course, she was the first one in, and we
Yeah.
all got to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all had to go in and hold
So
our
we
breath.
had to hold our breath, hurry up and pee, and get out of there so we
Well,
could.
several of us just went
Breathe.
outside and peed.
Well,
Yeah.
some of us don't have that ability. And,
Yeah, but it was funny because y'all would be holding your breath, walking out, trying to get away from far enough away from the door to go.
and,
It was pretty funny. I almost saw one of y'all pass out. I know I
it's
did.
hard to pee,
And hold your breath.
wipe, wash your hands, and get out without taking a breath. But yeah, so that was, and so
That was a thing.
we were at this.
That was a thing that happened.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened. And so we were at this old theater that it had been like a movie theater, and
This is another one we missed.
and they had taken the screens out and basically turned it into a playhouse.
Yeah.
like a house to have plays,
Wasn't
not a
that,
playhouse.
that was in Russellville, wasn't it?
No, it was Morrilton.
Morrilton, yeah.
okay.
And it was a really cool old building,
Yeah, that was
and
neat.
it was down on the town square, and so
Oh, and yeah, because that was kind of cool because it had all the backstage stuff.
yeah, and the dressing
and
rooms,
then had the dressing rooms and all that.
and well, my husband got your revenge. Because he basically pieced out on me and left me with Sir Robert. So Sir Robert, I don't know where Mark got him from.
Craigslist ad.
Probably.
Hell, it may have been the same place he got the Russian girl from.
Yeah, it could have been.
No, that was a mail order site.
Okay.
And
She thought she was getting a legit American
oh my
husband.
god.
Yeah. Well, she got fucked over.
Yeah, I'd have been like, I'm gonna need a return
I
ticket.
wonder if she's still in that basement.
I don't know.
You think the wife's let her out?
I don't know.
I hadn't seen any pictures in a while.
Well, because Mark
Mark's
died.
Well, I know he died.
Mark died like
Those
6 years
pictures-
ago.
But he
I
can
know
astral
that.
travel. I'm sure he
But
comes
oh
back.
my
Yeah,
God.
but they don't have
those
but they don't
pictures
have
ended before
Photoshop
he
on that
died.
plane.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
they don't-
astral plane doesn't have Photoshop.
Yeah, obviously. God.
But those pictures ended before he died, is what I'm saying.
It's weird. It's like this Russian chick, and he'd
Photoshop her with
dressed up as,
dragons.
like,
Weird costumes.
Red Riding
and shit.
Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even good
With this
Photoshop.
weird
Oh, no,
like,
bad
background.
Photoshop.
the type of Photoshop I would do.
Like-
It's horrible.
The kind you can do on your phone with your finger without trying real hard.
Yeah.
in
Which
your
is the best I can
basement
do.
where she lives
Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
against her will.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say, we don't know if it's against her will or not.
and I mean, she always looked sort of
Scared.
afraid in those photographs. And
her
like,
eyes said, "Help me."
Yeah,
I'm wondering
exactly.
if the like the costumes he wore were hiding the chains around where she was shackled to the walls. But so anyway, he comes and he brings Sir Robert. Now, before I go any further, I am not making fun of Sir Robert for
I am.
having cerebral palsy.
Oh no. I'll make fun of him for everything else. So.
Right. He could not control that, but it did add to the problem where when you set up an EVP session, what you want to do is you set up all your stuff and then everybody's quiet. You speak and ask questions, and then there are long periods of silence where theoretically the spirits are going to answer, and so it has to be quiet so you can hear what they say on the tape or whatever. And so we set up. Oh God, the other dead member was there too.
Got a lot of dead members.
Yeah, they all. Yeah,
No, not all of them.
Member
Just,
or
no, this was the one. This was the one, the Deuce lady,
okay.
and she. Now remember how she was built.
Yeah.
like Big Ed.
Humpty
She
Dumpty.
was wearing corduroys.
Oh God,
God,
y'all
I
lucky she
forgot
didn't start a
about
fire.
So we're trying to do the EVP
and
session.
we're trying to have everything quiet.
Y'all lucky you didn't get electrocuted by that static.
And so they're like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they just keep walking through the room. Now he's got the kind of arm crutches that are metal that make that clink when you talk or walk.
So every time they would come by,
Clink.
Yeah. And so that's all you can hear on the tape.
Like the worst conga line ever.
Right, like, and so all you can hear on the fucking tape.
What,
and
no, I remember one time you called it a retarded conga line.
I did, but I don't use that word anymore. I'm grown. I'm better.
Well, I'm not. So
And so, yeah, you can't hear anything on the EVPs, but and so we'd be like, all right, clearly they want to work in this area, so we'd move to another room.
yeah,
and here they go.
We'd set up all of our equipment again, spread everything out, run the cords, run the cables. We'd sit down, we'd get our headphones on, we'd start to record.
I'd be like, y'all need to sit down.
Yeah, sit your
Finally, I was
asses
like,
down.
look, I don't know if you understand what an EVP session is, but this is counterproductive, okay? And so that's when they were like, all right, well, we'll take a break and then we'll spread out. And so we were sitting around this table because in part of this, they had converted it to like this cafeteria style room where they would do like banquets and stuff. And so they had the round tables. And I'm sitting there, and Sir Robert sits down beside me. Because I am basically...
Who gave him... Who knighted him?
I don't know. But that's just how they introduced him to me.
Or did he buy a piece of Scotland?
I don't know.
it
And it
was.
could have been. I don't know.
I mean, he spoke very Scottish.
Did he? It came...
Yeah.
No, because the accent would come and go.
That's true. But
There were times when he spoke...
yeah,
He named himself.
Yeah.
probably.
I just know that's how he was...
I've been seeing that thing, or I did for a while, on Facebook, where if you want to be royalty, you can buy like a 1 foot by 1 foot square
Yeah.
of Scottish land.
Yeah. And, like,
then you're a Scottish property owner.
all I know, which means you're lord or lady,
Right.
but sir is different.
Yeah,
you
you
actually have to be knighted.
Yeah, sir is.
And
a
all
knight.
I know is he was introduced to me as Sir
Robert.
So Sir Robert.
And you didn't ask any questions.
No.
Oh my
Because
god.
eventually I fucking learn, okay?
You missed. Oh, I would
Hey,
have.
remember when she asked questions the
Right.
other time?
Okay, yeah, then she got to
I
hear
heard about his dick.
Tony T's fucking
Yeah.
goopy wiener.
And so anyway, I'm sitting there
Goopy wiener, yes.
and if there's one thing consistent about my life,
She's a freak magnet.
I'm flypaper for freaks. Okay? I don't know, like they can smell me or something.
I'm flypaper for motherfuckers that want to give me too much information.
Oh my god.
That shit happens to me way too regularly.
I'm telling you. So
I like. What is it when you like?
Amber's
Repel.
You know
I
those,
repel people.
you know those little things that you can plug into your walls that's supposed to repel rodents,
Insects.
insects.
Yeah.
That's basically Amber's entire personality. Okay, she's like, go away, stay away, go away, stay away, hex. But and I'm just like,
emotions.
bring all your
So
weirdness.
you have empathy, apathy. What is it when you're like trying to avoid?
Keep it away from me.
Yeah, empathy, apathy, and get away from me.
And so
That sounds like the worst fucking dwarfs ever.
And so I'm sitting there, and Sir Robert has taken a shine to me, and he wants me to know, because Ross decides he's going to go smoke. It was cold, and I don't smoke.
Okay, to be fair, we would have probably been out there with Ross.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably,
absolutely. And Sir Robert, as Ross walks away, giggling.
Under my breath. Thank you.
Oh, mine wouldn't have been under my breath. Mine would have been very much
how
over my
How
breath.
I know he was giggling? Because as he would saunter away, he'd look over his shoulder and look at me and go,
Nice.
finger wave. And so I'm like, fucker. And but Sir Robert assures me that there's nothing to fear, my
Yes.
lady. And that's how he spoke.
Mm.
Because, I mean, if your name's Sir Robert, you gotta.
Absolutely.
He's like, just know that I'll protect you. And I'm sitting here thinking,
With your hand crutches.
No, his sword.
not
Did he
that
have
sword.
it on him fucking Highland style?
He may have. I don't know.
But when you said his sword, it sounded
It's
like,
like
a
you're
different
talking
yeah,
thing.
no,
about
I
his
didn't
dick.
mean that.
Yeah.
Talking about
and
my
so-
dick.
No.
And break off a piece of my dick.
You have my
Sir
axe
Robert would have made
and
that
my
sound a lot more flowery than that.
and my bow and my sword, my dick.
And so he starts telling me how what sent
we
him.
really need to do some research and figure out what novel this came from.
Oh my God, really?
I would have asked.
No doubt.
No,
Because I'm
hold on.
pretty sure he plagiarized that
Oh,
sword.
yeah.
When he said I'll protect you, I would have been like 2 questions: how and from what?
I was in full empathy mode at this moment, and I was like,
because if something comes in here, I have a feeling we're both fucked.
and I was like, thank you. That's very gracious. What else are you gonna fucking say?
Oh, so much.
I mean,
so
I'm not gonna say, dude,
Duh.
my fat arthritic ass can outrun you. Okay, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't need to outrun the ghost. I just got to outrun you.
And
And
so
I will take one of those crutches.
Take that crutch out.
You got it.
And so he starts telling me, I was like, so what because I didn't know what the fuck else to talk about. And I was like,
Silence would have been my go-to.
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
because
shit.
then he was going to talk to me, and at least I had some say in what happened at this point.
Trying to guide this
Yeah, I
shit
could,
show.
I thought,
Yeah.
what can,
It went off the rails.
Because,
Trust
like,
me.
Immediately is what
I
it
thought,
sounds
what
like.
could go wrong? I said, so
Oh, so much.
what brought you to America?
stuff and things.
No. He said, well, I was in love with a woman. I was like, all right. He was like, and
Stalking her led me over here.
no, he was like, he told me this story about how her dad, wasn't he in the Scottish mob?
I think so.
Because that's a thing.
I mean, I'm sure it is somehow.
Okay.
But he was
It's called the IRA, right? No?
No, that's Irish.
That's the Irish Republican Army. It's in the name.
I'm just kidding.
But so he was like, her dad was very wealthy, and I think he got his wealth in nefarious ways. And I was
Grave
like,
robbing.
I was like the mob, and he was like, yeah, and I was like,
Oh, you volunteered that.
right,
Yeah.
like I thought I was being funny.
She had to help his story.
He was
along.
like, yes.
Exactly
He's like-
right.
Yes, as a matter of fact. And he's like, yeah,
Better than what I was going to say.
yeah, that's the
You're like,
ticket.
what? Why? What did you hear?
so he's like, and I love this girl, and
With all my heart.
her dad.
Her mom made the best haggis.
Her
Yeah.
dad was in crime, and but we had a beautiful relationship, and we were at a party one day, and these rivals of her father's business enterprise broke in, and they were shooting at us, and I protected her. I threw my body in front of her, and I can't do it when you're like,
I'm sorry. All I can see is him going, oh, and then them just looking at him.
People are thinking, this shit is bullshit. This is great. No, we really met these people.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Hand to God, none of this has been a lie.
No.
I swear to God.
it may be lies, but
It
this
may
is
be a
how
little
it was
bit
presented
embellished,
to us.
but it's
Yeah.
all this all happened to us.
And so he said, and of course, she was still wounded, but she was so
That's because he fell on the floor before they shot the gun.
When he didn't throw himself, someone tripped his fucking crutch.
And so he was like, but she was so impressed that I was willing to die for her that
She let me touch her boobies.
she finally agreed to marry me.
Oh, I was way off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm assuming.
that probably happened.
If they
at
were
some
going to get
point,
married,
yeah.
you could touch the boobies. And I was like, wow.
I don't know. Would Dawn Scotland allow it?
And so he's like, so our courtship truly began after that night, and we knew it was forever. And I mean, that's how he talked. And
That is fucking ridiculous. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have listened to that.
but there was a part of me,
They're like, you better get to the good part of this fucking story.
Oh, it's coming.
and
No, that's what I would have told him.
And so-
It's coming.
Oh my God.
and so he's like, and we were inseparable. We did everything together,
Even poop.
and
Yeah, the double toilet.
and those love toilets like they did on Saturday Night Live, where one faces this way and one faces this way, and you can hold hands.
Wipe each other's
Infinity
asses.
toilet.
Jesus Christ.
And so he's like, and so we told our families we were going to marry, and of course, I wasn't good enough, but we impressed them with the depth of our love, and they agreed that we could be married. And on their, I don't know, like wedding rehearsal night, the gang busted in again.
This sounds a lot like Romeo and Juliet.
Well, to me, it sounds like
No,
I'm
there
almost
was no
certain there was
poison
a Steven
involved.
Seagal movie like
Oh.
this.
Oh, I hadn't thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might have
And
been,
so I think they were Italians, but I mean, but they busted in, and she was killed this time.
Oh.
And so she was, of course, buried in the graveyard. And
Like where you bury people.
yeah, like you do. And so he told her father to show the love that he had for his daughter. He was going to stay by her side until he perished.
Well, he didn't keep that promise.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, not very well, as it turns out.
So he wouldn't eat and he wouldn't drink, and he laid on the ground by her grave, and her ghost came to him and told him that he had to live for her.
What?
What?
And like that he had to live for her, and so he took his sword. I don't know where the sword came from.
Someone just brought it to him.
This is the first I've heard about.
Because you know he didn't carry it because he's got
He's
two
a
hand
sword
crutches.
swallower in a previous line.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You got to be really careful with that
Yeah,
shit, though.
yeah.
So he plunged the sword into her
Into the
grave.
grave.
He stabbed her.
I mean,
She's dead.
She's in a casket.
Okay, well,
Dead.
it still seems rude.
6
Right.
foot down. That sword's not that long.
Yeah.
You don't know what's maybe he had
Well,
the
it
Braveheart
might have been a
sword.
broadsword.
And he vowed then that he would protect every woman that came into his orbit. And that was how he could assure me that he would protect me from whatever was going to possibly get me that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something tells me that should it have come to brass tacks, you'd have been fucked.
You think?
I do think, yeah.
And
yeah,
I mean-
really do.
You don't know. That sucker might have whipped out a
Hey,
damn samurai sword and
You're,
chopped a whole,
you're
a
absolutely
whole
right.
herd of ninjas in half.
He may have absolutely done the power of Grayskull and gone from Crippy McScottish to fucking Braveheart, and I would absolutely be wrong, but I don't think so.
It was just like, and I mean, like, what do you say when people say shit like this?
Enough to get my ass in trouble.
Not
Enough
me.
to lose
Apparently,
friends.
what I do is when you throw that level of bullshit at me, I just nod and smile, and my head goes to the side. And by the way, if you ever meet me in person, and you're talking, and my head goes to the side,
Well, see, for me, it would depend on how long I've been awake.
oh yeah,
Oh,
Because
yeah, no. 'Cause
how long I've been awake and how much I've had to drink, or how my day has gone.
Yeah.
Those are the three
Determining
or what mood
factors.
Amber's in. Those are the four
not what
determining.
mood he's in.
Well, because the mood she's in has directly affected the way my day's gone. So those are the four things. And if any of those are bad, oh,
I was just
Sir Robert would have got it.
I was just like, thank you. That's very gracious. I feel very safe. I mean, I didn't know what
Sure.
else to say. And then as
Bye.
soon as Ross came in, I booked it.
I would have started asking questions. Like,
No,
Well, I
because he
think
would have answered them.
Yeah.
to be sir, you have to be knighted by the king.
Or queen.
Or queen, the
reigning
ruling
monarch.
family, yeah, the monarch.
Yeah, hey, maybe there's a place where you can become kinged on the internet. On the internet.
You become kinged.
Kind of like ordained.
Kings are us.
No,
I
Scotland.
bet you if you fucking Google that shit, you can find it.
Scotland.
If you buy this 1x1 square of our country, you
No,
can be king.
that you can be royalty, but to be knighted, it has to
be
come
from
from
a
the monarch.
Maybe he had a
Scotland-
buddy that.
Scotland has a prime minister. Okay.
But the ruler of Scotland is the Queen of England.
The monarch is the
Or
king and
king
queen
now.
of England.
yeah.
And that shit has to be done in person. They can't write a letter.
That has to be
Then
like,
you'll get an email from some Nigerian prince.
you know, when I think
You
about,
don't know.
when I think
bet
about,
you if you Google
I do
it,
know.
I bet you if you Google that shit, you can find one.
when I think about our days ghost hunting, I don't know how we weren't murdered.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
me
I know.
neither.
But the weirdest shit happened, and it just seems so
Not scary, fucking weird.
No, I was never afraid. I was perplexed.
I was a little.
Okay, at that one time.
The strip club was a little.
I wasn't scared there. I was scared.
The strip club and at Baptist.
The only time I was scared was when out at that
The old abandoned hotel
when
out past Hot Springs.
yeah, with a burn
Is that where
down.
you took the brick and then the fucking
Yeah.
shadow? That was a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, he's a dumbass. the
Russ, Ross took a brick from this fucking structure. It was some old run down ass house.
The fucking fireplace where the guy reportedly burned his wife's body.
Yeah,
and I was like, I think I'll take a brick.
Yeah, he took a fucking brick and then started noticing a shadow figure in their yard every night.
But he didn't tell me. He just like, we need to go back to Hot Springs.
Yeah, so he had to go put the brick back.
I didn't want to alarm you.
Yeah,
I was kind of alarmed. I didn't want to alarm you.
the strip club in Rose City, that was scary. That was very scary.
Why
Was
was,
it
that
Rose City?
scary?
It was Rose City.
Yeah, it was Rose
It
City.
wasn't scary to me.
It was the area.
It was the area. That
It
was
was
the strip club
sketchy.
that guy got shot and cut in half.
cut in half.
He got shot with a shotgun,
So many times it cut him in half.
and from what I understand, it kind of like blew him in half.
I don't remember that.
Well, it didn't happen while we were there. I mean, fuck.
No, but
No, it
I
was
remember
like-
what
She was
did
probably
happen while we were
She
there.
was probably talking to some dipshit.
Oh,
Didn't see all that
yeah.
go
I
down.
remember what did happen while we were
The
there.
strip
Oh,
pole.
so
Chris decided he was going to pole dance.
that's harder than number
Oh,
one.
he put his hands on that thing.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Hell.
well, that was probably a mistake.
and people weren't
But-
carrying around hand sanitizer back
Yeah.
then.
No, and that
And I
shit
doubt
is.
they cleaned anything there.
Ever.
Well, I wasn't licking it. I mean, damn. But that shit is harder than it sounds because
You still
I
probably
put
got
my
germs
tongue
from
on
that.
it. It's stuck. I couldn't get
Ew.
it.
Oh my god. Fucking snail trail all up and down the ew.
Wasn't there shit on the bathroom walls?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
But I thought I was gonna do this little spinny thing around it, and what wound up happening, my hand didn't spin on the pole,
Because they don't clean
Sticky.
that shit.
and
It just
I
kind of
hit my
stuck
knee,
in place.
and so as a natural reaction to hitting my knee, I moved it and then hit my nuts square on that fucking pole.
And we were all just watching and laughing. It was
Yeah,
great.
I'm glad that I was able to
still have
entertain you
pictures
motherfuckers with my
somewhere
pain.
of
Yep.
Chris and Ross on the pole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those pictures exist,
I
and
think
we
they're
need
that
to
little
find
silver
them.
camera.
We need to find that shit.
No, everything from that silver camera I showed you. It's on the external.
Well,
It's
we
on
need
the
to find
external.
out what happened to those because those need to resurface.
Yeah, that was that
Yeah,
was
we
something.
went and did some sketchy shit back in the day.
Yeah, because Rose City is just a rough ass fucking dangerous place anyway, and then Baptist is in a the old Baptist is in a really not great part of North Little Rock.
And you got me running down the halls opening all the doors.
Yeah, and Amber has no fucking sense of self-preservation, which means clearly neither do I, because I've got to fucking run in there after her because, damage control and shit, so. Yeah.
I'm always like, what's behind this door? What's behind this door?
And so I've got to be there in case there is something behind that door.
What's behind this door, Jason?
Yeah, and then I'm the motherfucker that's got to, yeah. It's like, I'm not scared. It's like, I know. You ought to be, though. Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. Amber and I don't really have that whatever makes you
Oh, we know.
have a
Yeah, we
healthy
know.
dose of fear.
That's just like the crack.
The only thing I'm really afraid of in life is rodents.
Yeah.
I don't have.
You understand how fucking ridiculous that sounds?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's dumb as fuck. Like, I will legit take on a snake. But rodents, I mean, I'll have a heart attack. Like, they scare the fuck out of me. It makes no sense. None.
There was an itty bitty spider. I like that with spiders. We were in the car the other day. There was an itty bitty
Oh my God, that
spider
was
coming
funny
down
as
from the door, and I was like, "Spider!" And I grabbed something.
It was a receipt.
And I started hitting it, and then it fell on my lap. And I'm
keep
just
in mind,
screaming, "It's on
spider,
me!"
this spider's like this big, right?
I don't see it.
It's like an eighth of an inch big, and she is flipping out. It was so funny. It's when it fell on her. Oh goddamn, that was
And
great.
then after it was done, I was like, "I got it."
It's fine. It's good. It's cool.
God, that
Yeah,
was
I tend to
funny.
freeze when I get really scared. I freeze.
Yeah, I tend
Which
to like...
is not any better.
No.
No.
Well, that's just the reaction I have. They always said fight or flight, and I'm like, there's a third one,
Fight,
and it's
flight,
freeze.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever did that. My pop was a trucker, and he'd come home late at night, And one time he had pulled up and his truck was in front of the house. He was unloading stuff.
So he parked at the house?
Yeah, sometimes. And he was, unloading stuff. I ran out to the car to get something. I thought he was in the house. And then I hear someone walk up behind me. And we lived in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And
was it in like a neighborhood or country?
Neighborhood. Oh yeah.
It really
house
was a
next
bad
door was a
neighborhood.
drug house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
And
was
I
for real. It
froze.
was.
And I
Just fell over like a fainting goat.
I just stood there for a few seconds and then slowly turned around and saw it was Pop. And that was the first time I'd ever done that.
Really? Now, how old were you?
Probably preteen.
Yeah. I think my dad with the bobcat in the bathtub when I was 5 scared me so bad it like cauterized all my fear nerves. I don't know. Since then, I mean, I'll tell you why rodents scare me so bad, and it's because it's a thing with Ehlers-Danlos. We have real tetchy adrenaline responses. So, like, our startle response is through the roof, and I've read the study about why they think that is, but I can't remember all the science. And the fact it's the darting movements of rodents. Like, I would rather have a full-grown werewolf come at me with intention than a fucking rodent just dart out at me when I can't control it. God, it's awful.
I wonder if there's something that's the opposite of that, because I hardly have any reaction.
Oh, God, probably, because, like, I'm telling you, like...
You're just dead inside.
Well,
I know.
Sedated nervous system.
Like, before, he's trying to scare me before, and I just look at him. He's
No,
like,
I'll have snuck up on her like a ninja and goose her on the side, and she's like, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, you should have shit and jumped in the air.
Well,
and
here's
you
the
didn't
thing
do it.
with
You
me.
look at me like, what are you doing?
Ross can stomp through the house,
Yeah.
and I can hear him. But if I see him where he's not supposed to be, I don't know why. I know it's him.
he's the same way.
I scare the shit out of D all the time by literally just walking in the room.
Yeah. I
'Cause
do
she
that
won't
to
be
him.
expecting-
He'll be outside or something, like early in the morning. I'll walk out. I'll go in the kitchen. I'm fixing me a cup of coffee. I'm not being quiet.
You're just doing your thing.
And then I'll walk up to the door and he turns around and he's like, I'm like, I just looked at you. What the fuck? You've done that so many times.
Well, yeah, because I don't. All right, I don't hear super great. So if I don't hear
I don't think
you,
he has any peripheral vision either.
Oh no, I have. Well, you know what? I had a fucking eye exam. Do we want to make a bet on
oh
that?
my God.
God.
Blah, blah, fucking blah.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, she listens to this. Oh, good. So, keep in mind, you brought this up.
Who did? I was just
Amber, with the peripheral vision. So, I had set up. We have an Xbox, whatever the fuck it is, and I'd set it up, and it was after I'd worked a long day. I work like almost 11 hours a day in front of a computer. After that long, your eyes start to get tired. So I'd, the little bitty text on the fucking Xbox, which the TV is across the room. I had set it up. It was a little bit blurry, and Alexis called me. And she's like, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm setting up the Xbox. I said, my eyes are strained because I've been working all day and the text on the Xbox is blurry. Well, all she heard was that the text on the Xbox was blurry. And she was like, well, you need to come in and get an eye exam. And, we have glasses on. And I'm like, whoa. My eyes are fine. You said the text was blurry. I said, I've always had 20/20 vision, better than 20/20, always. And I said, no, my eyes are fine. It's just, I've been working all day. They're tired. Well, I bet you need a prescription. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I bet you I don't. She said, I bet you $30 you do. I said, I bet you fucking 100 I don't. And she's like, ooh, hey, hold on. I was like, okay, all right. Well, not as confident now the money's on the line, huh? So I bet her $30 that I had 20/20 vision. And it turns out I was right. Actually, better than 20/20. I maxed out the machine.
If I can do this next to your head and you don't see anything.
You realize that over here is out of peripheral vision, right? Peripheral vision's like right here.
Did I say I hold it behind your head?
And I can see what the fuck you're doing too.
You're looking at it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, I swear you're special.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you married
This
me.
is just going downhill.
All right, yeah, we're over an hour and a half.
Later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.